Do you know when sometimes I've been good. I've been good about this whole thing. You know, I haven't been sleeping a ton, but I don't sleep a ton anyway. But I've been good. Like, I was just, my son Hayes is with me. We went and got him, he actually needed some underwear. Because he's the idiot. I was like, dude, what's taking you so long to get ready for shoot around? He's like, Dad, I didn't pack any underwear. Like, what? Anyway, he's like, so how you feeling? You nervous? And I was like, no, I'm good. I was like, I'm all the things, excited. But I will tell you, the second I heard Dan and the Danettes and I realized where I am, it did hit me. Like, this is real. And people ask all the time, like, why do you do what you do? Oftentimes they ask me in a sarcastic, because I will say and do things that aren't always maybe appropriate or at the timely. But why do this? And the answer, honestly, is today. And here's what I mean. I'm from Orange, California. I went to Tustin High School. There's no honest connection with this part of the world. I grew up, believe it or not, as an Oklahoma football fan. I used to love the Wishbone, Jameel Holloway, right? I used to love the Boz. Like, who didn't like the Boz? And
everybody in here, by the way, they didn't like.
No, they did love the Boz. Everybody loved the Boz. I mean, the truth is that prior to probably the last 10, 15 years, Oklahoma State football fans were also OU football fans, really. You know, unless you went to school here and you were hardcore. And the culture that Mike Gundy, obviously this is a tough year, has created, has changed things to where there's now, it literally is a divided state. It wasn't previously. It was in basketball. It wasn't in football. Because it's hammer and the nail. They won 90% of the games. It's really hard to be an Oklahoma State football fan for a long time. But the point is, there's a sign that I have. It's still packed away in a box in Green Bay, and it says, "It all started in Stillwater." And I've had times in my life where I've been a little broken, and I pulled in here, and nobody judged me. You know, nobody judged me. Damn it. And I still remember the day, and it's interesting, and it's all kind of coming. Like, I said this earlier today, that my gift is my curse, is that I have an incredible memory. You know, you have that for sports, which is remarkable, Dan. And I always call on it because you're like our personal, like, encyclopedia. Like, oh, no, that was October 16th, 1966, and here's what happened. Here's the uniform. I was like, oh, my God, Dan, stop. But I have these, my brain is flush with these vivid memories. And when I came here to go to school in August of 1997, I went to Lake Havasu with my friend Nick Maroutsos. Nick played basketball at UC San Diego. And it's basically 24, 25 hours from Orange County to Stillwater. And so it's 5 hours out to Havasu, so I had like a 20-hour trip. So I planned it out like, all right, I'm going to jet ski, water ski for a couple of days, and then I'm going to head out, and then I'm going to stop like in, I don't know, it's like Albuquerque, and then stop in Amarillo one night, and then I'll come here, and I'll be here Sunday. And then Sunday we had a team meeting, and then Monday school starts. And I was so excited, just like I am now, that I drove straight through. I pulled off the road and slept for a couple hours in my Chevy Blazer. I am also still wanted by the law in one of the Native American lands. This is a real story. I got pulled over, and the guy's like, well, you know, it's like a $100 speeding ticket. And I was like, okay. He's like, well, this is on the, I'd say it's Navajo land. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, well, what happens if I don't pay it? Like, well, then you're wanted. I was like, in America? It's like, no, on Navajo land. So if I ever get pulled on Navajo land, just know I got thrown in the clink for something, 27 years ago. Anyway, so I pulled off the road in northwest Oklahoma City. There's the I-44 kind of bisect or kind of cuts through the northern part of Oklahoma City. And there's a couple of bigger buildings there, but I knew nothing about Oklahoma. So I called my mom, Collect, and I said, she's like, what's it like? And I was like, I think I'm in downtown Oklahoma City, and there's two buildings. And then I called Mary Lee Draper, who's the longtime secretary for Eddie Sutton, And she gave me directions to try to get to Stillwater. It's pretty simple, right? Get on I-35 North, get off on 51, there you are. Turn left on Hall of Fame, and you'll run into Gallagher. So I pulled off into Gallagher. And, it's August in Oklahoma. It's 180 degrees. And I went upstairs to Coach's office, which was on the second floor of the old Gallagher. And he was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Coach, I was so excited I got here it's like a Friday early afternoon." I said, "What should I do?" Because none of the players were there. And I could just check into my room, but I didn't have anything. He said, "Well, you should go down to Joe's and get yourself something to eat. And then go over to the football game, the high school football game. A bunch of people from the department are going down there." So I came to Joe's. I sat by myself up there. And I took it all in. And then I went to the high school football game, and I met Matt Holliday, who we all had dinner with last night. He's become a lifelong friend. Most of you guys know I got divorced a couple years ago, and I have my first date with my wife right there. I mean, my life started right here. So I tell people all the time that I wake up daily with true gratitude. But I don't even express how much this place means to me. And what I want for my kids, and by kids I mean my players, is they won't all get that. But, man, if I can have one or two have the experience that I had and the life that I've lived because of the 3 years that I played basketball wearing Oklahoma State across my chest, then I've won. So what is it? We get so screwed up in sports. And it's the thing about NIL and the transfer portal. We have kids everywhere, and everybody comes from somewhere else. And I mean this when I say it. My goal is to have those guys have what I have. Tonight, Desmond Mason, Brian Montnati, Rodney Suter's a walk-on, my former roommate, Alex Weber, Andre Williams. They're all going to be here. Now, maybe part of it is none of them have gotten a real job and moved away. But the truth is, that's my family. And it all started in Stillwater, Oklahoma. So I'm a competitive dude. I want my team to win. I think we're fully capable of winning. More than anything, I really want them to represent themselves, our school, our program, and me personally the right way. I just want to play hard and play right and play for each other, because that's it. We didn't go to a Final Four here. We didn't win a Big 12. We could have won the Big 12. We choked and lost to Oklahoma in the last game in the old Gallagher, right? I lost in the Big 12 championship game my junior year to Kansas, and we scored 35 points because we were exhausted. But we didn't. There's lots of things we didn't do. But what we did do? We won. And we won because those are my best friends on earth. Those are people that I would lay down on train tracks for. This is a school that changed my life. And that's what college athletics is supposed to be about. Not about all this other crap. And I don't mean to go too far afield, because tomorrow is a very consequential day in American history with our election. But it's the same thing. It's we got to get back to what it's about. It's not about all that other stuff. Who we elect isn't about all this. It's who do you trust to make really good decisions? Who do you trust, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with some of their politics? So much of this gets caught up in money and glamour and fame and the little things that are like sugar that take us to these highs and fill us with dopamine, and then we drop off. I'm telling you, college athletics, look, it's hard. Our alma mater stinks this year. They're a preseason top 15 team. I love my school. Mike Gundy's been the greatest coach in the history of Oklahoma State. It's not even close. If people understood, you guys went to the game Saturday night.
Yeah.
If people understood how bad it was at the old Lewis Field, okay, there were steel girders that were rusting. Everybody else called it the Rust-Oleum Bowl. It was a joke. Okay, we were a joke of a football program. The only thing our football team was known for was on their bye week, they would have the best parties, right? And they would usually get into a fight with the guys from Langston the first weekend of school. That's all anybody knew football guys from. We went to the Alamo Bowl my first year, and you would have thought they went to the Super Bowl. And then they stunk the next couple years. And Mike came in his first year. He got rid of all the nuisance, and they won 3 games, and then after that, it's been a rocket ship. But again, like, we get caught up in what it's not about. And it's not that you don't want to win. Please don't mistake that about it. Like, I'm so competitive that if we lose tonight, it will. And then I'm still worried about, like, Friday we play St. Thomas, who's a really well-coached team. Like, the level of stress and anxiety I actually like and I enjoy, but also part of it is because I want to win. You know, when you do broadcasting, get done doing a game, you click off. Did we win? Did we lose? Like, I can think I did a great job, but if my boss thinks I didn't, like, it doesn't matter, right? We have a scoreboard for a reason. Mm-hmm. But when I see that sign, it all started in Stillwater, and I was so good with the emotions. You know, so good. And then we clicked on, and I heard the thing from Dan, and I started thinking about all the nights we'd play a game, we'd win, we'd come down here, we'd watch SportsCenter, they'd crank it up, and there would be a highlight. I'd throw an alley-oop to Mason, and Mason would dunk it, right? And, like, we would stay up all hours of the night just to watch ourselves on a SportsCenter highlight that Dan Patrick would call. Right? It wasn't about, hey, can I get $500,000 in NIL, you know, and if not, I'm going to leave the school. And the truth of it is, I have a home, I have a life, I have people. Like, the real reason I wanted to play this game is all these things that I've talked about. My kids will see the game, my friends will see the game, but there's people that have supported me to have this job as a head coach. Like, there was a big move, bring Doug home. I'd never coached a day in my life at the college level, right? At that level, it would have been seen as an obscene risk. And yet, every time it's come open, people have supported me. Why? Because I'm an Oklahoma State guy. Because we take care of our own. And that's what it's supposed to be about. And I just hope that in 20 years, Preston Rudiger, Marcus Hall, Foster Wonders, Mac Recchi, one or all of those guys show up at the other guy's game and have a beer afterwards and talk about how great it used to be. And, you know, we get far afield from what everything is about. And I'm telling you, my college experience at Oklahoma State was about the right stuff. And it's what I want my team to ultimately succeed in life at. And, oh, yeah, by the way, we want to win a game. So, anyway, God, that was a lot. Holy cow.